Good morning. Today we're working on 2-4 homework, and today we will be working on comparing decimals, and we will also be working on adding and subtracting decimals. And when adding and subtracting decimals and comparing decimals, it's so important that you actually line the decimals up so that you can make appropriate comparisons, and so that when you're adding and subtracting decimals, when you have to have that decimal lined up to ensure that you're going to get the right answer. Number 1, there's a chart, number 1 through 3, there's a chart at the top over here, and this chart provides you with the information you need to answer questions numbers 1, 2, and 3. It tells us that Jack ran 47.51 seconds, Dusty ran 47.49 seconds, Brandon ran 47.6 seconds, and Raj ran 47.57 seconds. And as we've been practicing, I think it's a good practice for you to establish when comparing decimals to line them up and write them in a column. So we have 47 and 51 hundredths. We have 47 and 49 hundredths. We have 47 and 6 tenths. And we have 47 and 57 hundredths. And you can do an easy comparison. This makes the visual comparison really simple for you. You can see that when you look through it, they all are in the 47 seconds range. Okay, but when we compare how much past, or how long past that 47-second mark we have 51 hundredths, we have 49 hundredths, we have 6 tenths, and we have 57 hundredths. So when we look at our first one, it says, how much longer did Jack run than Dusty? Well, here's Jack here. He's our top one, Jack. And then we have Dusty is our second one here. And so we have Jack ran 47 and 51 hundredths, and Dusty ran 47 and 49 hundredths. So you can write that out as a simple subtraction problem. 47 and 51 hundredths minus 47 and 49 hundredths, and you can complete your subtraction problem. Well, we cannot take 9 away from 1, so we have to borrow. The 1 becomes an 11, the 5 becomes a 4. Okay, 11 minus 9 is equal to 2, 4 minus 4 is equal to 0, and then we bring down our decimal. Do not forget to bring down your decimal. We talked about it before, but it's really important you keep that decimal in its place when adding and subtracting. And we know that 7 minus 7 is equal to 0, and 4 minus 4 is equal to 0. And so we know that Jack ran 2 hundredths, which is 0.02, 2 hundredths longer than Dusty. Number 2, it's how much time did it take Brandon and Raj to complete their 2 legs of the race. And so you're going to go to Brandon and Raj, and you're going to add them up and see how much combined time it took them to complete their 2 legs of the race. So it's an addition problem. Number 3, which 2 runners had the greatest difference in their running times? That means you have to figure out who took the longest to run the race, and who took the most amount of time to run the race, and who took the least amount of time to run the race. And you're going to have to compare them, and lining them up like this will make that part really simple for you. We're going to now move down and look at numbers 4 through 15, and these ones are addition and subtraction, and I will tell you now, and I want you to remember this as you're doing these, if you don't line the decimal up, you are going to struggle. And I have a lot of kids who want to quickly do them in their head, but oftentimes in our heads, we don't get that decimal lined up appropriately. So number 1 says 0.9 or 9 tenths, and number 2 says 0.06 or 6 hundredths, and this is an addition problem. Okay, so it's simple addition. Biggest thing is your decimal stays in the same line, so bring it down. Okay, don't forget to bring that decimal down. 6 plus nothing is equal to 6, 9 plus nothing is equal to 9, and 0 plus 0 is 0. And so our answer for number 1 is 0.96. When you're doing these, when you turn in your paper, I want to be able to see that you use the space provided to line your problems up just like I did here. and make sure that I can see your work, because if there are mistakes or if you're struggling with some of them, I will be able to find the mistakes if you show me your work. So on these problems, I want to be able to see your work, so make sure you're doing it in the space provided underneath the problems, lining them up vertically. We'll go ahead and do a subtraction problem for practice as well. And again, the most important thing is to make sure that you're lining them up. So let's look at number 7. And number 7 says 1 4/10, or 1.4, minus 0.9, or 9/10. Okay, you cannot take 9 away from 4, so in this case we're going to have to borrow. The 4 becomes a 14, the 1 becomes a 0. Bring down that decimal, line it up. 14 minus 9 is equal to 5. And 0 minus 0 is equal to 0. So your answer for number 7 is 5/10, or 0.5. You can go ahead and finish out 2 and 3 and the rest of 4 through 15 on your own. Make sure you attach a picture of your work, please, and turn it in on Teams. Thank you.